Good evening. You're watching the news from the Sultanate of Oman television. We'll start with the headlines. The first day of Muharram will be an official leave for the employees in public and private sectors on the advent of the new Hijri year. Tanfeedh labs for fisheries wealth sector are launched and more than 800 million Omani riyals are invested in the new projects for the sector. With the participation of 21 countries, the World Health Organization's third Global Patient Safety Challenge starts in Muscat. And UNESCO hails Sultanate's success in development of its water resources. Those are the headlines, and now for the news in details. His Majesty Sultan Qaboos has sent a cable of greetings to Her Excellency President Michelle Bachelet of Chile on her country's independence anniversary. His Majesty the Sultan has received a cable of thanks from His Excellency President Shavkat Mirziyoyev of Uzbekistan in reply to His Majesty's cable of greetings on the occasion of his country's independence anniversary. His Excellency Sayyid Khalid bin Hilal al-Busaidi, Minister of the Diwan of the Royal Court, Chairman of the Civil Services Council, issued a decision declaring leave for the Holy Prophet's Hijrah anniversary, peace be upon him, and the advent of the new Hijri year 1439 AH. It said the first day of Muharram 1439 will be an official holiday for the employees of ministries, public authorities, and other departments of the state's administrative apparatus. If the first day of Muharram coincides with Friday the 22nd of September 2017, the leave will be on Sunday 3rd of Muharram corresponding to 24th of September 2017 instead, as Muharram's crescent sighting will be declared by authorities concerned. His Excellency Sheikh Abdullah bin Nasser al-Bakri, Minister of Manpower, also issued a decision regarding the leave for Holy Prophet's Hijrah anniversary, peace be upon him, and the advent of the new Hijri year 1439. The decision said the first day of Muharram 1439 will be an official holiday for the employees in the private sector companies and establishments. However, it will be on Sunday, September 24th if the first day of Muharram coincides with Friday, as Muharram's crescent sighting will be declared by the authorities concerned. The decision allows employers and employees to agree on compensating these holidays if necessity arises. All employees of the public and private sector seize this precious occasion to forward to His Majesty Sultan Qaboos greetings and best wishes, praying to Allah the Almighty to protect His Majesty and endow him with health, happiness, and long life, and for the Omani people and all the Muslims with welfare, blessings, and good omens. More than 852 million Omani riyals is the investment value of the new projects in the fisheries wealth sector that was revealed during the inauguration of Tanfeedh's labs for fisheries sector. An area of 64 hectares was allocated in Duqm to establish the biggest fisheries industrial area in the Middle East. The production of the new investment project for pisciculture in Duqm will reach 293,000 tons annually. It's expected that the contribution of fisheries wealth sector to the Sultanate's gross domestic product, or GDP, would reach 616 million Omani riyals by 2023. Currently, the fisheries sector contributes to the Sultanate's GDP with the highest percentage among Gulf countries. The Central Bank of Oman stated that the fishing industry in the Sultanate is soon to become a competitive industry in the world level. The inauguration ceremony was presided over by His Excellency Dr. Ali bin Masoud Sinaidi, Minister of Commerce and Industry. The Sultanate, represented by the Ministry of Health and Sultan Qaboos University in collaboration with the World Health Organization, launched today the WHO's third Global Patient Safety Challenge, Medication Without Harm, at the SQU under the patronage of Her Excellency Dr. Rawiya bin Saud al-Busaidiyya, Minister of Higher Education. More details in the following report by Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai.
Medication without error is the theme of the third Global Patient Safety Challenge held here in the Sultanate. The Global Patient Safety Challenge Conference on Medication Safety focuses on improving medication safety by strengthening the systems for reducing medication errors and avoidable medication-related harm began this morning.
We are expecting a very good outcome in which we will be making our own national strategic plan for medication safety based on WHO aim and targets. sharing also the experience of other countries, how they managed in that aspect, learning from them, and we share with them our successful experiences.
Oman has been chosen as one of the centers of excellence in terms of quality by the WHO and Emir region, and a lot of issues and challenges that are happening actually in Oman are similar to whatever happening all over the world, and we hope that this conference will go a long way to actually will go a long way in terms of improving the situation in the country, in terms of better quality of medications and services for the patients.
All medication errors are potentially avoidable. They can thus be greatly reduced or even prevented by improving the systems and practices of medication. Senior officials of the Ministry of Health and national focal points for patient safety and medication safety from over 20 countries in the Middle East are attending this conference.
The Department of Quality is highly involved in patient safety as we are leading the Patient Safety Committee. We look into two aspects: prevention of errors and correction for errors. There are different policies and guidelines in the hospital that we follow, and we investigate all errors and all incidents for closure and disclosure, and we take lessons from that and improve in our level.
WHO is initiating this third Global Patient Safety Challenge with the theme of medication safety. It is set with the philosophy of patient safety previously developed by the WHO, namely that errors are inevitable and provoked in large part by weak health systems, and so the challenge is to reduce the frequency and impact. The overall goal of this third global patient safety is to reduce the level of severe avoidable harm related to medications in all countries by 50% over the next 5 years. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Sultan Qaboos University.
With the participation of 18 countries, the activities of the 16th Regional Meeting for National Committees for International Hydrological Program and the third meeting of the G-Wadi Networks for Water Resource Management in Dry and Arid Areas started in Muscat today. The three-day meeting will discuss with the UNESCO a number of work papers related to water resources crisis in the Arab region. The meeting revealed on a number of water challenges facing the Arab countries. The latest estimates indicate that 35% of Arab countries' population, the individual share of water, reaches less than 500 cubic meters. It also mentioned that 66% of water in the Arab countries comes from outside their borders. The meeting discusses the Sultanate's experience in the cloud seeding technique and mentioned on the 6 Omani villages which are enlisted in the World Heritage List of UNESCO. It has also mentioned that the Sultanate, like the rest of the Arab countries, suffers limitation of water resources, and it depends on underground water as a main source, up to 92%. The UNESCO hailed the Sultanate's success in development and administration of its water resources, pointing to the existence of 6 Omani villages on the world's international heritage list. And still to come in our news bulletin. The Women's Forum and Psychological Shifts in the Media is inaugurated under the theme, Be Conscious About Your Mental Health. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. London police said a second man has been arrested in connection with the London subway attack. They said that a 21-year-old man was arrested late last night in Hounslow in West London. He was arrested under the Terrorism Act. 2 men are now in custody for possible roles in the attack that injured 29 people. Britain's terror threat level remains at critical, the highest level, meaning that authorities believe another attack is imminent. Police arrested an 18-year-old man in the port of Dover, the main ferry link to France, and then launched a massive armed search in the southwestern London suburb of Sunbury. Iraqi Kurdish President Masoud Barzani appeared to reject an appeal by the United States to postpone a planned referendum on independence from Baghdad. Speaking at a rally for the independence campaign in the northern city of Dahuk, Barzani said that the Kurdish parliament and the people had made their decision. The vote, dismissed by Baghdad as illegal and destabilizing, is set for the 25th of September. The White House called on Kurdish leaders to abandon the referendum and enter into serious and sustained dialogue with Baghdad. Iraqi Prime Minister Haider al-Abadi said that he is prepared to intervene militarily if the referendum results in violence. A koala has been rescued after being trapped in a car's wheel arch for a 16-kilometer journey through the outskirts of the southern Australian capital, Adelaide. The driver of the four-wheel drive vehicle was unaware of the extra passenger until they arrived at their destination and heard some unusual cries. After seeing the koala in the wheel arch, the driver immediately called animal rescue, who removed the wheel and eventually extricated the frightened animal. The koala suffered superficial injuries and was covered in grease from under the car. The koala was dubbed Kelly after one of the firefighters who rescued her. After being cleaned up and monitored for a week, it was released back into the bush yesterday. Rescue workers said it wasn't unusual for koalas to seek shelter in unusual places. The Municipal Council of the Governorate of Muscat, during its meeting today, reviewed the statement of the Technical Committee concerned about the urban planning mechanism at the Ministry of Housing. The committee displayed a video presentation about the committee's tasks and roles in the field of urban planning. The Council approved during the meeting recommendations of the Committee of Health, Social and Environmental Affairs, which includes addressing the Scientific Research Council to benefit from scientific programs and researches and determining demands of residents of Sidab area to be forwarded to the Municipal Council, as well as to recreate a team to conduct a study meant to organize a media campaign for maintaining hygiene in public and touristic places. The Council adopted recommendations of the Public Affairs Committee, which included the selection of names for some areas of the wilayas of Muscat Governorate, in addition to adopting the recommendations of the Legal Committee on compiling information and statistics required to study the issue of regulating the rental relationship between landlords and tenants. His Excellency Engineer Mohsen bin Mohammed al-Sheikh, Chairman of Muscat Municipality, presided over the meeting. The number of academic and training matters between the Sultanate and Korea were at the core of discussions during the meeting between Major General Salim bin Musallam bin Ali Qatan, commander of the National Defense College, with the delegation of the National Defense University of Korea, currently visiting the Sultanate. During the meeting, they exchanged cordial talks and reviewed a number of matters of mutual concern. The horse Nafis from the Royal Cavalry won the United Arab Emirates President Cup at the Arab-British Derby competitions in its European Station 2017, which was held on the British Doncaster racetrack. The 2,000-meter race is the conclusion of the best classic horse races on the British racetracks. Nafis has won first position 4 times, particularly in French Derby Cup in France and the British Derby Cup in the United Kingdom. The Ministry of Environment and Climate Affairs held a workshop on developing the strategy of protecting marine environment in the Governorate of Muscat. A number of experts from inside and outside the Sultanate took part in the event to get acquainted with the latest updates in this field. During the workshop, it was revealed that the Sultanate, in coordination with the Japanese government, prepared the regulations regarding the protection of the marine environment for 5 years. It is also worth mentioning that development of such strategies are in line with the economic diversification as well as the best usage of marine resources as part of Oman's Vision 2040. Under the theme, Be Conscious About Your Mental Health, the Women's Forum and Psychological Shifts in the Media was inaugurated today at Oman Convention and Exhibition Center. More details in the following report by Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi.
Women and their psychological changes in light of the global trends is a topic that has concerned many. Hence, more than 20 speakers from various Arab countries such as decision makers, those interested in women's affairs, specialized artists, media and political figures have convened at the Women's Forum and Psychological Shifts in the Media to discuss the psychological issues of women.
Mental health is very, very important, and we know a lot of studies that have come up recently about how important it has become. And I think it was one of the main factors that I thought we have to focus on, because the mental health for women is very, very important. Once she's okay, you know, psychologically, then mostly everything else becomes way okay.
Over a period of 3 days, the forum will discuss a number of topics, including the role of governments and international organizations in improving women's health and the impact of social media on Arab women.
The idea actually of this forum, I'm very happy that it will give the information to the public, especially to the society, about the need to understand the women changes, especially the hormonal changes, and to understand the behavior that she is behaving accordingly, so that they can provide for her the support, and instead of showing more of stigma and burden her or isolating her. So the idea is that to have the society understanding the woman changes in her mental process through the hormonal changes.
In addition to changing stereotypical image in Arab societies about psychological health, this forum encourages researchers to focus on women's psychological health and the social and economic factors affecting them. Indeed, taking care of the psychological health of women is important to empower them individually and help them support their societies. For the Sultanate of Oman Television English News, Saleh bin Khalfan al-Rahbi, Muscat.
The Oman Global Logistics Group, ASIAD, signed an agreement with the National Training Fund. The aim was to accomplish the plans related to national logistics strategy that seek to provide around 80,000 job opportunities in this sector by 2020. It also focused on development of capabilities of national cadre, as well as enhancing the technical education and training in logistics services sector, in addition to working with bodies concerned to study and analyze the requirements of the market. ASIAD stressed that lately companies in logistics sector started to provide a number of jobs, namely Muwasalat and the Oman Dry Dock companies. The national logistics strategy seeks that the contribution of this sector's gross domestic product will be 14 billion Omani riyals by 2040. The Ministry of Commerce and Industry clarified that the patent applications recorded in 2016 reached 369 in the field of technology, chemistry, pharmacy, mechanics, electronics, telecommunications, and oil and gas extraction techniques. The ministry said that these patents are considered significant in terms of research, development, as well as innovation, and they also contribute in enhancing the national economy. And now for the general weather forecast around the Sultanate. Partly cloudy skies will prevail over the coastal areas of the Governorate of Dhofar and its nearby mountains, with chances of intermittent drizzle. The rest of the Sultanate will have clear skies with chances of scattered rainfall over the Hajar Mountains. Winds will be southerly to southwesterly light to moderate, and seas will be slight with a maximum wave height of 1 meter. This is the Sultanate of Oman television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main points once again. The first day of Muharram will be an official leave for the employees in the public and private sectors on the advent of the new Hijriya. 10 feed labs for fisheries wealth sector are launched and more than 800 million Omani riyals are invested in new projects in the sector. With the participation of 21 countries, the World Health Organization's third Global Patient Safety Challenge starts in Muscat. And UNESCO hails the Sultanate's success in the development of its water resources. With that, we come to an end to tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, good night.